You have become an important emotional refuge for this person, and perhaps you still don't realize how much your presence has been felt in the silence, in the memory, and in the moments when their heart needed peace the most. There is something in your energy that welcomes, that calms, that offers emotional rest in a rare way. And that is exactly why this message reached you today. Because the angels want you to understand that there are feelings being kept with more depth than appears, and that this connection has been touching this person in a way they can't always explain with words. Some people pass through someone's life and leave only memories, but there are people who become a shelter, people who, even without realizing it, become a point of relief in the middle of chaos, a kind of safe harbor for a tired heart. And that is what you represent to this person. Not as something superficial, not as someone easy to replace, but as someone who brought a feeling they don't find just anywhere. In your presence, even if at other moments they didn't show everything, there was a different peace, a lightness difficult to ignore, an emotional rest that today is missed in an increasingly stronger way. And I will tell you something with all affection. Many people only realize the value of a refuge when they find themselves in the middle of their own confusion. When days get heavy, when the mind doesn't rest, when the heart begins to miss something that before seemed common. In my vision, that is exactly what is happening here. This person began to understand that what they felt by your side was not something small. It wasn't just habit, nor just passing affection. It was true comfort. It was the kind of connection that makes someone let their guard down without fear, breathe deeper, and feel that, for a few moments, life became less harsh. The angels show that this person has been facing internal conflicts you might not even imagine. On the outside, it might even look like they are standing firm, distracted, busy, trying to keep everything under control. But inside there is intense movement, an emotional longing, a need to return mentally to what did them good. And in many of those moments, it is on you that their thoughts land, not just out of affectionate memory, but because your energy became associated with security, care, and understanding. And when someone finds that in another person, it is very hard to erase. Have you noticed how some bonds don't need a logical explanation to be felt? There are connections the heart recognizes even before reason can organize it. And this is one of them. The angels want you to know that this person is not just attracted by your exterior presence, by your way of being, or by what was lived between you. There is something even deeper happening. They feel at some level that you were one of the few people before whom they managed to rest emotionally, without needing to pretend so much, without needing to protect themselves the whole time, without needing to carry masks all the time. Before continuing this message, write this mantra in the comments. My presence transmits peace, love, and truth. Write it with faith, because when you write it, your heart agrees with what heaven is confirming about your life. Now stay with me, because there is something very important you need to understand about this connection. The angels show that this person has been reliving moments when they felt understood by you. Sometimes it was a simple conversation. Sometimes it was just a look, a listening ear, a gesture of care, a way of yours of noticing what nobody else seemed to notice. And it's curious because often the one who offers this kind of comfort doesn't realize the strength of what they deliver. Maybe you were just being yourself. Maybe you acted with affection, with sincerity, with that sensitivity that comes from the heart. Except for this person, that carried a much bigger weight than you imagine. What do I think when I hear a message like this? I think that there are people who enter our lives as God's answer for phases that nobody sees. Sometimes, on the outside, the person is smiling, talking, following the routine. But inside they are tired, hurt, confused, emotionally overwhelmed. And then someone arises whose energy doesn't suffocate, doesn't demand, doesn't weigh heavy. On the contrary, it relieves, it calms, it organizes inside, and when that happens, the heart registers it. It might even take time to admit it. It might even resist, but it registers. This person misses you not just in the common romantic or emotional sense. There is a lack of your way of comforting, of your calm, of the way you made the environment seem less heavy. They miss the feeling they had when they realized you were there. And this has been messing with them because now they compare. They compare conversations, environments, presences, relationships, attempts at distraction. And the more they compare, the more they realize that what they found in you was rare, maybe even unique. The angels also show me that this person has difficulty admitting the depth of this. It's not always easy to recognize that someone became so important emotionally, because recognizing that means admitting vulnerability. It means accepting that there was an effective dependency on a place of peace, an invisible comfort, a relief that went beyond what was expected. And many people run away from this truth because they are afraid of their own need to love, to attach. But what is happening now is that this truth is becoming impossible to ignore. If you are listening to this message with a heavy heart, take a deep breath for a moment. Place your hand on your heart and feel it, because this word didn't come to confuse you, but to bring clarity. Not everything that was felt was lost. Not everything you offered went unnoticed. Not all care was forgotten. The angels want you to understand that your presence deeply marked this person, and that what you represented continues alive inside them, even if there is still silence, distance, or hesitation. Now I want to ask you for a simple but powerful thing. Write 777 in the comments as a sign of agreement with the peace and direction that the angels are bringing to your life today. And along with that, receive this special sign. Your lucky number for today is 8. Write also, I receive the energy of the angels. My lucky number is 8, and I welcome this message with faith. The number 8 carries the strength of stability, protection, and the return of what has true value. And if this message is truly touching your heart, and you feel like supporting this channel, you can make your donation through the video's QR code or through the link that is in the description and pinned comment. Every gesture of support helps this word to continue reaching more people who also need light, comfort, and hope. The angels show that this person tries at many moments to look stronger than they really feel. Maybe they learn to close themselves off, to hide vulnerabilities, to guard what they feel so as not to expose themselves too much. But when someone finds a true emotional refuge, no matter how short the time lived, it leaves marks. Because the heart begins to desire again what made it rest. And that is what they have been feeling, a silent desire to get closer to this place where, for some time, everything seemed more bearable. There are nights when this person thinks of you not just with longing, but with a kind of internal search, as if they tried to revisit the feeling they had by your side, as if they wanted to understand why your presence did so much good. And this question has been returning more frequently. Why was it so different with you? Why was there peace? Why did the heart feel less overwhelmed? Why does your absence now weigh in a way that other distances didn't weigh? In my vision, when someone begins to ask these questions, it's because the soul has already noticed what the mind is still trying to deny. And I deeply believe that there are bonds that aren't born to be noise, but rather rest. They aren't born to confuse, but to bring truth. You were, for this person, a space of emotional rest amidst a life often messy inside. And even if they don't say this clearly yet, the angels show that this recognition is maturing. Maybe you yourself felt tired at certain moments. Maybe you thought you offered too much, felt too much, comforted too much. Maybe you wondered if all of this was in vain. But listen carefully, it wasn't in vain. Heaven is showing that what you delivered left roots. Your listening left roots, your affection left roots, your presence left roots. And even if right now everything isn't the way your heart would like, there is a movement happening inside this person. A movement of recognition, of comparison, of absence, and of emotional understanding. If you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and stay with us. Here there always exists a word of faith, affection, and direction for when the heart needs to breathe and find hope again. And I like to say this because I know that often a message at the right moment changes the weight of someone's day. The angels show me also that this person feels torn. On one side, there is the desire to feel this closeness again, to seek this shelter that was you. On the other side, there is fear. Fear of what you feel today, fear of your reaction, fear of discovering that time created a bigger distance, fear of realizing that you are no longer available in the same way. And this conflict has prevented clearer movements, except their heart can no longer pretend that this doesn't matter. You became important in a layer that goes beyond the obvious. And do you know why this weighs so much? Because an emotional refuge isn't found easily. There are beautiful, interesting, striking people, but few are a shelter. Few transmit the feeling of, here I can let my guard down. Few make the heart feel it was truly seen. And that is what they found in you. Maybe without planning it, maybe without understanding it at the time, maybe even trying to treat it as something minor. But now, the absence is teaching the size of what was lived. The angels ask you to observe something important. Don't let the value of what you represent depend only on this person's attitude or delay. The fact that you were a refugee for someone already reveals a lot about the light that exists in you. It reveals your capacity to comfort, to love in a true way, to transmit peace. And I want to tell you this with sincerity, because sometimes the one who is a shelter gets used to seeing themselves only as the one who cares, never as the one who also deserves to be cared for. Except you deserve it. You deserve reciprocity, presence, and truth. Now the angels ask for a movement of liberation in your heart. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself, whom you would like to forgive. Visualize each of them, send love, and say, I forgive you and I release you. May peace be with you. Feel the lightness this brings, because when the heart releases old weights, it manages to see with more clarity what really has value. There is something even deeper happening. This person doesn't just miss your presence. They miss the version of themselves that appeared when they were with you. That is very powerful, because sometimes someone doesn't just miss the other. They miss the peace they lived, the lightness they experienced, the security that arose, the openness they managed to have. By your side, they perhaps felt less alone, less pressured, less closed off. And this now returns to memory as a truth that bothers and at the same time calls. You know, when the heart finds a place where it manages to breathe better, that is what we are talking about. You were that place. And therefore, your absence isn't just absence, it's contrast, it's comparison. It's the perception of how much some presences organize what was messy. The angels show that they have tried to move on, tried to distract the mind, tried to give another name to what they feel. But the truth continues coming to light, and that truth is that your presence had a much bigger emotional impact than they imagined. Tell me something inside your heart. Have you already felt that some people arrive bringing rest, as if they were God's answer on difficult days? I believe in this deeply, and I also believe that when such a bond exists, time can even bring silence, but it can't erase the mark that stayed in the soul. This person might be in an internal struggle, might be hesitating, might be trying to resist, but they know, somewhere inside themselves, that they found something rare in you. The angels say that the next period will be of much emotional clarity. Situations, memories, and feelings are going to pressure this person to look with more honesty at what you represent. Their heart is no longer going to accept superficiality so easily because it knew a type of depth in you that now is missed. And this can bring unexpected movements. It can bring a desire to get closer, to observe more, to try to re-establish contact, to understand if there still exists space to touch again upon this true closeness. But this message didn't come just to talk about what they feel. It came also to remind you of your value. Don't reduce your importance to anyone's silence. Don't think that because someone took time to understand, what you offered was small. Heaven is confirming today that your energy has been an instrument of comfort, peace, and welcome. That is precious. That is rare. That is a gift. And when a woman carries this type of presence, she needs to have awareness of the strength that exists inside her. Share this video with 2 dear people who also need this message today. And if you can, leave in the comments a prayer for your guardian angel. There is a lot of strength when several people unite in faith, and I believe that words of light released with sincerity reach hearts in a very special way. The angels show me a symbolic scene. This person, even without saying it, returns emotionally to you in the moments when they feel most tired. Perhaps not with words, perhaps not with visible attitudes yet, but in thought, in memory, in comparison, in silent longing. This happens because your name, your image, your energy associated themselves with something that their heart identifies as rest. And when someone is emotionally exhausted, all they want most is to find again what transmitted peace to them. Only now there exists a difference. They can no longer pretend that this is just anything. The feeling matured, the perception matured, the absence matured, and often it is precisely distance that forces the soul to recognize what before it treated with distraction. In my vision, this is one of those moments when the heart begins to understand the value of what it had and the weight of what it lost. Not to live in guilt, but to awaken, to stop running away, to admit what it feels. If you are listening to this at night, tired, in silence, perhaps even holding in emotions that nobody is seeing, I want you to feel one thing now. You are not invisible to heaven. You weren't forgotten. The good that you transmitted was seen. The care that you offered was seen. The peace that came out of you was felt. And all of this has value before God and before the angels. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine light surrounding your heart. Imagine also this person being reached by clarity, maturity, and truth. Not so that everything happens in your time of anxiety, but so that it happens the right way, with awareness, sincerity, and peace. Because when something needs to return, it needs to return clean. It needs to return true. It needs to return without unnecessary weight. The angels close this message saying that you were, yes, an important shelter. You were comfort on difficult days. You were peace in the middle of confusion. You were a presence that helped this person breathe better inside, and now their heart is being led to recognize this with more depth. What will happen starting from this recognition depends on choices, courage, and truth. But one thing heaven wanted to make clear today: you weren't small in this person's life. You became an important emotional refuge, and this never passed unnoticed. If this message spoke with you, write in the comments, "My presence brings peace to whomever God places in my path." Share your experience, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more messages like this. Thank you for being here with me. May God bless your life, strengthen your heart, and until the next video,